Good morning, everybody. My name is Jimena Bejarano, and I lead programs about climate sustainability and civic impact at Net Impact Central. This morning, I'm delighted to introduce to you one of our programs made possible with the support of Shell Company and our innovative participants. The Future of Energy Challenge is a solutions competition that challenges our network to propose creative ideas that address real-world barriers to building a sustainable energy future. This year, the challenge is specifically focused on mobility. We are accepting solutions until November 25th, and finalist teams will get to pitch their ideas at South by Southwest. You can find all the information you need on our website. Through the Future of Energy Challenge, Net Impact enables early-stage social entrepreneurs to cultivate their solutions into fully developed concepts that are solving barriers to our clean energy transition. The team I'm about to introduce to you did just that. Electrip is a great example of how young leaders from the Net Impact Network can take an idea into reality. Please welcome Electrip.
Hi. Cool. Do we get up? I think so. Is there a clicker or something? It's this. Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Taylor Zhao, and I'm the CTO/CMO of Electrip.
Yep. Hi, everybody. My name is Mandeep Patel, and I'm the CEO of Electrip.
Awesome. So to really understand our startup, we have to kind of go to the beginning. We founded the company about a year ago, so I want to talk a little bit about our customers' pain points. So I'm sure all of you have been late to a flight, so you're running through the airport, trying to get to the TSA line, but oh no, it's 50 people deep. So now you have to beg and ask everyone that you can cut in front, and finally you get to the security checkpoint. But there's a family of 4 like holding up the entire line. But somehow you're able to get through, you're sprinting to your gate, and then you finally get to your seat, you're in the airplane, you're like, oh, relief washes over you. But then that family of 4 walks over with their crying kid, and they sit right next to you. So we all know that travel really sucks. And flights are extremely stressful. And according to the FAA, 20% of all flights are delayed or canceled in the US every single year. So your other option is buses, but they're extremely unreliable, they're not private, and you still have a last mile problem getting from the bus stop to your final destination. Then your last option is driving, but it really wastes a lot of time. You can't be productive behind the wheel, and after a long day of work, you're extremely tired and it's extremely dangerous to drive. 300,000 car accidents occur every single year just to drowsy driving. So we created Electrip. So we do a city-to-city service in Teslas. And our 2 focuses is on time and comfort. So for time, we get you exactly door to door, A to B, wherever it is. And we're booked on demand. So we only need a lead time right now of 14 hours, and we're trying to get that to 1 hour. And every single car, in order to give you comfort and peace of mind, it's private, so the entire vehicle is just for yourself, and it's professionally driven by a trained driver. They do about 10 hours of training just on the Tesla alone, and they all come with Wi-Fi and laptop charging to keep you productive. We're operational in Texas, so we operate in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, in the Texas area, and it's a $950 million transportation market. So Mandeep will now talk about some of our customers, as well as how Net Impact and Shell have helped our business.
Yep, absolutely. So when we launched 18 months ago, it took us about 1 month to make $1,000 of profit. Now we make $1,500 every single day. And the reason we were able to grow rapidly was because we really understood our customer. For companies like Deloitte and McKinsey, their #1 concern is productivity loss during travel, and they want to make sure that they're able to get to the client meeting right on time. Avoiding uncertainties like airport security lines and bus schedules allows them to get to the client on time every single time. And for companies like Shell, we actually pitched this idea at the Future of Energy Challenge last year, and we understood that their #1 concerns were highway risk. Individuals driving drowsy is incredibly risky, and they recognize the value of eliminating that, and that their executive pay is actually tied to carbon reduction. So at the Future of Energy Challenge, we pitched to the executives on the Shell team and tailored our solution to make sure that we could provide them exactly what they needed in a travel experience. And so because of those reasons and our involvement with businesses, we were able to scale a sustainable solution all the way up to where it is right now. And so we believe at Electrip that travel shouldn't suck. And we're still working on that motto, but.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so I have a couple questions for you guys. Where did you get the idea for Electrip?
Yeah, so I was an intern on BP's trade floor. They sat me right next to the COO, which, I mean, I had to always look busy and like, it kind of sucked. But every day we understood the problems that they faced. And it seemed like getting around Texas, you know, going to the different clients that they had, it was a huge issue. And so we realized the best way to do this would be city to city, door to door, but using a typical gas internal combustion engine vehicle is way too expensive. We looked at EVs and really started to understand their potential, and that's when it became clear that by combining a sustainable technology with an existing business need, we could create Electrip.
Yeah, and I joined the company about 6 months after, but prior, me and Mandeep would talk a lot about the business model. So he originally did individual seats, but we realized a lot of clients really value privacy, especially for our lawyer clients. So we make all of our drivers sign an NDA so that they don't disclose anything. Yeah.
Right. And how did you get a big company to trust a small startup?
Yeah, I think it takes multiple touch points, and you really have to understand that there are multiple stakeholders in a company. You know, Deloitte has sustainability goals that they're trying to hit, as does Shell, and they're really committed to these goals, but there are other parties that we have to understand and accommodate for. And so that's why that's kind of the main reason why events like the Future of Energy Challenge or events like these at Net Impact help you interact with stakeholders at these companies and really understand when you have that 1 minute, you know, to 3 minutes with them, how do you really sell them on your sustainable idea?
Yeah, and just touching on that, it's about the early adopters. So find the advocates in the business and really champion those relationships and really follow up. It's important to really cultivate it continuously. You know, you'll have a touch point with them at a conference, but make sure you get their contact info and ask them about their family, right? And make it personable. Yeah.
Okay. And what does it take to launch a venture while you're also a student or you have other things going on?
Yeah, I think that's really tough. Taylor and I worked on a venture previously, and it took, when we were students, it took a lot of time. We learned a tremendous amount, but I mean, how many hours did you say we put in a day?
Probably slept like 4, if that.
Yeah, and we're not trying to glorify that like work style, so it's really actually tough. And the reason why it's tough is because you take on all of the responsibility, but you also get all of the, like, I guess, the success. And so it is a very interesting dynamic in which, you know, when you're in a class, you might have peers to help you, you might have other people to fall back on, but in a startup, you really have to take on the responsibility. And Taylor and I give honest feedback to each other all the time. I mean, if we couldn't do that, we wouldn't be able to launch a business. So that's kind of the mindset you need, but the actual mechanics, one of the things that helped us launch this business, so, you know, we're very young, people don't give out loans for Teslas to like young people, so it was hard for us to continue to expand, but we launched the business by understanding our customer and then doing a test. And once that test succeeded, it was really easy, it was a lot easier to scale up because we weren't already like knee deep in water trying to figure it out then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just one thing to add on is about time. So really look at how you're allocating your time and making sure you're spending it on things that are productive. So like I used to play video games at night, but now I try to read a book until I fall asleep. So small things like that really do help with your productivity. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your experience. We're really glad to have you at this year's conference. And please look up more information about the Future of Energy Challenge on our website. We'd love to see your submissions come in.